This is your Athens, Georgia Townie weather girl, and I'm here tonight to talk with you about the weather. And I just got out of band practice, so I'm a little sweaty and hot right now. Um, but I'm monitoring the weather, and right now I have Radar Omega up in front of me, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this tonight. I'm mainly just kind of thinking about our neck of the woods. Right now, it's we've got a decent amount of storms, severe thunderstorms, and one tornado watch, which I think is going to expire sometime not too long from now, 20 minutes from now. So there's not as many tornadoes as maybe previously thought, honestly, but like a lot of this is really straight line wind kind of damage, and I think that's going to be the case for us as well. If I can get a radar site close to some of these storms up here. So basically, we're going to deal with the same thing that a lot of folks are going to deal with tonight and into tomorrow morning, which is a QLCS line of storms. And right now, that looks like it's going to roll into our area, to Athens, Georgia, sometime around 4 to 6 a.m. It just really kind of depends on how quick this thing winds up moving. I am feeling, knock on wood, I'm feeling pretty confident that we're not going to see any tornadoes. If we do see any tornadoes, we're not going to deal with anything like, I don't think we're going to see anything in the nature of a significant tornado. Even an insignificant tornado can really fuck some shit up, but like, I'm not going to worry too much about it tonight. We're also, as I mentioned earlier, on Reddit, that we are in a 5% overlay from National Weather Service tonight and tomorrow morning as this system rolls through. So it's not like a 0 chance we'll get no tornadoes, but it's pretty slim. 95% chance we're not going to see anything like that. So what we are seeing is just a ton of severe thunderstorm warnings that have just propped up all along this line of storms right now. Starting to finally inch its way into northwest Alabama. So it's going to take some time to get all the way to us. So that's it for now. There's not a whole lot to see. There's only one tornado warning on the board right now, and that's going to expire real soon. So there you have it. There's your quick weather update. Not to worry. I don't think this is going to be. I just realized I have a sound reading, a sounding from a while back. So maybe I'll remove this for a second. But like anyway, that's an old reading. Yeah, again, I'm not totally not worried about the weather tonight, and I don't think any of us should. The whole precaution safety plan is just, it's good to get in the practice of knowing, learning your house and what's a good spot to go to should you need to. It may not be this storm; it might be a storm, sometime down the road that you have to think about. Is that another tornado warning that's dropped? No, same one. It almost like there's a second one. So good to have a safety plan in mind, so you know what to do in the instance that we do actually have some nasty ass weather. So right now there's like a tornado watch that's expected to be issued for this big chunk of area here, Alabama and Tennessee. Whether we'll be under a tornado watch, I suspect we will be under at least a tornado watch through the night as this gets closer to us. I don't expect that they're not going to issue a watch, but a watch does not mean the tornado has been spotted or is on the ground. It means that conditions are possible for one to develop. Okay, I'm going to do quick. Yawn. I'm tired. I've practiced a lot today. Okay, so let me open up a browser real quick, and we'll take a look at the HRRR and see what we get there. And my browser is kind of all messy right here. Slide this back over here. Okay, so this is the HRRR, and this is the 1Z. Let me go to the 00Z since it's pretty much a full panel at this point. So this just shows a composite reflectivity. Come on now. I gotta go to the new beta. Okay. All right, so let's figure this out real quick. I wonder if I can make this bigger. There we are. Not that big. Okay, there we are. That's a little better. Not ideal, but I'll fucking deal with it. All right, so this is composite reflectivity, and we're going to see this line of storms pass. So there is a little bit of stuff happening out in front of this, which is not bad. It's honestly a lot of this. It's really messy. As you can kind of see here, right, kind of right over Atlanta, right here. It's a big mess of blob of storms. We want blobs of storms like that to be out in front of this stuff, like because the more like we take the steam out of the QLCS line right behind it, the better. I don't think we're going to get out of it. Let's take a look at the reading real quick, and I'll see if I can get this shrunk down a little bit so I can maybe get it on screen. Nope, not going to happen. All right, so this is sound over Athens. This is going to be for 4 a.m. So this will be a little bit before the line of storms approaches our area. What I'm showing right now is that there's not a lot of CAPE in the air. Surface CAPE is 109. That's pretty small. CAPE 0 to 3 kilometers, just 11. So there's not a lot of energy, and there's a significant cap right now. There's the cap is -204, which is a lot. So that means basically it's 61 degrees right now. So it would have to somehow miraculously get up to 74 degrees in order for buoyancy to happen for energy to start building upwards and to be able to break the cap, for a storm to break the cap and actually develop into something nasty. The likelihood of it 4 in the morning here in Athens of us getting up to 74 degrees out of nowhere is very slim. So I'm not really worried about this happening. The other thing that could force this to happen would be literally the front coming through. So that's another kind of lever for kicking off a tornado. But there's just not a lot of energy in the atmosphere right now. Even the most unstable CAPE value is 702. That's just not. It's enough to get a small tornado going, but it's not going to be something really bad. I would not worry about tornadoes tonight. I'm not going to worry about them. Okay, let's look at the HRRR. Let's just take a look at the NAM. I think the NAM's already building out for tonight, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be that far over. Oh yeah, okay. We'll see what the NAM shows here. Right here, we'll take a look at the sounding on the NAM. Okay, so this is 6 a.m. Let me go back a frame. There's not a lot there, so this is going to be around 5 a.m. and it's a little bit better, but God, I wish I could do something about this. This is kind of annoying. Let's see here if I can make this smaller somehow. Okay, Radar Omega, I'm gonna have you go away for a minute because I'm not really interested in seeing you for now. Okay, so here's the sounding. And all right, so this sounding, the NAM 3K sounding is a little more juicy than the HRRR sounding. So there's still the one thing that immediately comes to mind here is that there's still a pretty significant cap right now, negative 173. So with that cap in place, you kind of have this barrier for for storms to be able to punch through. They can't punch through because this barrier is pretty significant. Negative 173, that negative number is actually a strong number. So the closer it gets to zero, the less strong that cap is, and the more likely that storms could, have no trouble lifting up to the surface. I'm going to move my microphone a little bit. The cap there is pretty strong, so I'm not super duper worried. But what I am seeing here is surface CAPE's 238, which is really negligible. It's not zero, but it's not a lot. Mixed layer CAPE 7077. Most unstable CAPE is 2645. That's a pretty strong number, but again, you have to look there at the cap. So this is going to require something being able to punch through the cap. So the front coming through could do that, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So there's a lot of helicity in this storm. 376 from surface to 1 kilometer, and from surface to 3K is 387. So that's pretty significant. There's a decent amount of shear in atmosphere. So there's going to be some rotation, like general rotation with the storm. And I'll say rotation, I'm not talking about like tornado rotation, but like rotation in general. And rotation and shear are some of the ingredients that we look at when tornadoes can spin up. I'm just looking at this, y'all. We're not going to get a tornado tonight. If we are, just it'll be fine. It'll be okay. Have your safety plan, your phone on, and all that, just in case. But like, okay. So what else am I seeing on this particular sounding? All right. So the cloud level, the lower cloud level is at 62. So that's very low. So that means it wouldn't take a lot for, you know, that's a good height to be. The lower the cloud level, the less energy. I'm going to say this weird, but less energy is required for a tornado to spin up. So like if you have a cloud layer of like 400, that's a tornado has a lot of work to do, versus when it's really small. There's not as much air to have to like move around and start getting things to kick off. Okay, let's see, what other interesting perimeters do we have here? So supercell perimeters at 20. So like, again, with this storm relative velocity right here, we could see some supercells. I don't know that we saw one a couple weeks ago. So we had one come over West Athens. So we might have something similar to that, you know, pass through as part of this QLCS. What else I'm showing right here is that the hail perimeter is 2.1, which is pretty dang. So this particular sounding suggests that we're very likely going to see some hail, and it could be some pretty significant hail. So, so if you can look over here, this sounding analogs right here. So you have all these different dates right here that show all these, based on all this data right here. They can go back in the past and see other soundings from past storms that looked a lot like this one, and that's where you can kind of see like, okay, well, we have looks like we have like 8 or so different past storms that produce significant sized hail with this type of sounding. So that's all that means. And these soundings change from run to run, and they change a little bit with your location. I just dropped this right over Athens, so the next run from this, the sounding might look a little different. So anyway, the common theme in all this is that there's a lot of capping in place as these storms come into our area. So it's going to require, the storms are not going to, like, if something gets out in front of it, it's not going to like have a good, easy time to build the form a tornado. And even with that QLCS line, I just don't think there's going to be enough there for it to really do much. Just on account, there's not a lot of energy at the surface right now. Okay, all right, that's it. I know y'all probably don't care about QTs, but I like looking at them. I like learning about them. And so there we are. So we'll take a look at this composite reflectivity. This is again going to be for around to do my mouth in my head around 6 o'clock in the morning. So by 7 o'clock or so, that system will be on top of us. So I plan on getting up probably a little bit earlier tomorrow morning, around 6 or so I can kind of like, it may get here a little earlier, it might get here a few minutes later. We'll find out, I guess, when I get up in the morning. I'll just take a look at some of the other, I'm not going to call them cloud maps, but we'll take a look at some other stuff here. Supercell composite, just not a lot there. Again, I'm not super duper. That's interesting after that. What time is that? That's interesting. That's 8 o'clock. Wow. Okay, that's like 8 o'clock. Okay. Okay, so this is a sounding that's for 8 o'clock. So looks like it thinks there might be a couple of waves of this, and the second wave comes through. Some good buoyancy up further up in the atmosphere. All right, so this one, there's no cap in place at this point. No cap means it doesn't take energy at all for a storm to get really tall and really big. So there's no capping in place at this particular sounding time. Surface cape is 617, which is not super duper strong. When you think about some of the EF4, EF5 tornadoes, you've got cape values 2,000, 3,000, sometimes 4,000. So 617, it's enough that something could start. I mean, it could wreck some shit, like destroy a shed, take a roof, mess up a roof or whatever. But like, I don't think with that amount of cape, we're not going to see anything strong enough to light level houses. Okay, mixed layer cape, most unstable cape is 627, so it's just not a lot of energy there. Surface Cape 78. That's okay. That's all right. Like that's the 3 kilometer, because the 0 to 3 kilometer Cape value is 70. That's okay. It's not like not 0. Okay. Not much of a hail threat on this particular sounding. So the hail threat was bigger on the first wave that we looked at a second ago at 6 o'clock. So this is at 8 o'clock. So it's like a little bit after. So it thinks there might be 2 waves here. There's the supercell composite at 3.8. It's not a whole lot. Decent storm relative velocity, but this sounding thinks there's not going to be much in the way of supercell activity. So again, if we go back a couple of frames, this is at 7 o'clock. And this looks a little juicier for like tornado stuff. You get surface at 854 Cape, which again is not like super duper strong, but it's enough. No cap really, -2 cap is not really. Nothing would, storms would be able to develop and grow really easily in that environment. 3 Cape is 66, which is okay. It's all right. So. Anyways, I'm just like literally just noodling around looking at soundings right now. I don't think we have a whole lot to worry about tonight. Please don't worry. Have a safety plan. This is not one of these kind of systems where you not want to sleep with clothes on and like if we were under like a 60% overlay for tornadoes, and that overlay was like level 3 intensity, I would say sleep with clothes on or stay up. This is not that kind of storm. It'll probably wake us up with the thunder and all that when it comes through. But anyways, I'll take one final look at the radar Omega before I like cut off here and go to bed. So, okay. I'm really tired. I'm ready to crawl into bed right now, honestly. Okay, the tornado warning I saw like about 20 minutes ago is gone, and you can see here on the board there are no tornado warnings. There are a couple of areas right here that are expected to become tornado watches, but no tornado warnings on the board right now. A ton of severe thunderstorm warnings, which is to be expected. It's more than likely what we are going to see as these systems roll into our area later this morning, or tomorrow morning around 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. We just don't know how fast these things are going to get here. There's a couple special weather statements, but these gusty winds, 50-mile-an-hour wind, like pea-sized hail, nothing a whole lot to write home about. All right, that's it. I'm sitting here looking at Radar Omega, and I've got like a browser open. My bad, sorry about that. There we are. Just to show you, so there's not any kind of like tornado warnings right now on the board. There's just a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings all up and down this QLCS line of storms. You can kind of see here this affectation. I think that the soundings we're picking up on, that there might be an initial wave ahead of the main line of storms. So this initial wave that we saw a second ago on the soundings over Athens was the one that looked like it might, based on this sounding, again, like 3 hours from now, that sounding could look different. But at this time, they're thinking, oh, there could be some hail with this initial front that passes through, and then behind that is the main the squall line, as you call it there. QLCS line of storms. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot of anything happening right now on the board as far as tornadoes, and I think it's going to remain that way tonight. There very well probably will be 1 or 2 random tornado warnings at some point between here and when it gets all the way in South Carolina overnight hours. I just don't think there's going to be a whole lot there. So rest well. It'll be okay, and have a safety plan just in case something does fire off and we need to quickly get to an interior room in the lowest floor of your building, away from windows, as many walls as you can between you and the outside. That's the idea. But you're not going to need it. It's going to rain, it's going to thunder a little bit, and then we have on Monday, it's going to be very cold after that. In fact, there's even a very, very slight chance, probably more so if you're a little further northwest of us, of seeing snow, which we probably wouldn't see it, but like it'll probably melt. It'll melt definitely as soon as it gets to the ground. But like, you can see some snow in the back end of this, which is pretty funny. If you're up in the mountains, up in like fucking Gainesville and Dahlonega, Toccoa, Blue Ridge, like there'd be a bigger chance of seeing some pretty significant snow in those areas. I don't think it's going to stick. It'll melt. Like it'll be pretty for a little bit right after a storm comes through. So anyway, for us, we might see a little bit, but like honestly, it'll be dark, so you probably won't see it unless you happen to be outside at the time. Okay, that's it. Sorry, I'm a little bit anxious and autistic tonight, but it's all good. All right, be well. I'll talk to you sometime tomorrow.